How's it going, everybody? My name is Derek, and this is Sneakers and Spirits. This is episode 5 of Sneakers and Spirits, the YouTube show where we talk kicks and whiskey. Today's going to be extra fun because today we finally get to check out a pair of sneakers that I've waited a long time to get my hands on. And in case you haven't been paying attention to the title of the video, today we are reviewing, and to be more specific, that's right, today we are checking out the Nike Spongebob Squarepants Kyrie 5 collaboration in the Squidward Tentacles colorway. Now, to give you an idea of just how excited I've been for this pair of shoes, you have to understand Nickelodeon was a huge part of my childhood. And not just in the way of, I'm gonna watch Nickelodeon between activities. As a child who didn't get out much, Nickelodeon was the activity. When I wasn't eating or doing homework, trying to do homework, or out of the house, Nickelodeon was on 100% of the time. Pretty much 100% of the time. Now, that doesn't make me sound like such a fun kid, but to be honest, I was a little bit boring. But what that did was develop a fandom in me that grew with me as I moved on to high school and college, and when I got to know SpongeBob eventually. And I remember studying for so many tests in high school and college with SpongeBob playing in the background. And it's amazing to me that a huge part of who I was growing up just naturally comes around and finds itself combined with another part of my life that I love so much, which is sneakers. And so I'm excited to delve into this shoe and share the whole experience with all of you. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. To be perfectly honest, doing any work in what may very well be the world capital of chill was extremely hard to do. But it was perfectly worth the hour or two to find good spots, wait for tourists to get out of shots, all to make an evaluation of this cartoony collaboration. These are basketball shoes, but I am not a basketball player. I am a sneakerhead, and I am a SpongeBob fan. So why should the fact that I don't and can't play ball preclude me from wearing kicks that tick 2 of 3 boxes? It's almost a shame that shoes playing up there under the sea vibe so strongly aren't meant for anywhere near the water. You can't walk around very well, sand gets everywhere, but they just look so damn good. And at the end of the day, it's your money. How you get your wares per dollar should be up to you. So I'm not gonna lie and say these are great basketball shoes when I don't even play. I'm not gonna pretend there was some deeper reason for taking these to the beach with me. I just figured they'd be pretty gorgeous out here. And you know what? I was right. The Kyrie 5 silhouette is no stranger to unique and adventurous collaborations, and the Spongebob Squarepants series of colorways is no exception. In this review, we take a look at the Squidward Tentacles colorway. Right off the bat, we see the collaboration's effect on the trademark Kyrie 5 cage. Scattered all over the cage are embossed dots that are reminiscent of water droplets. This water droplet motif, referencing the cartoon's Under the Sea theme, continues along the swoosh on the lateral and medial sides, as well as the heel cups. As has become expected from previous iterations of this silhouette, the upper is composed of a flexible mesh with rubber reinforcement along the toe. Front and center on the cage is Nickelodeon branding in their classic orange, and on the heel cups is Nike branding done in the cartoon's unique font style. On the inside of each tongue are callouts to the character. On the right shoe is the Squidward name, and on the left is his clarinet, a reference to the character's hobby. Printed on each insole is Squidward's face, perfectly in character. The use of the Spongebob font extends to the Kyrie Irving branding on the front of each tongue. An added detail are the multiple strings of text debossed all around each shoe's midsole. Written are Humble, Hungry, Elizabeth, Kyrie's mother's name and her birthday, and finally Azuri, his daughter's name and her birthday. The silhouette's unique outsole makes yet another appearance in this release, this time in a striking lavender and purple. The Kyrie 5 eye symbol and Kyrie Irving insignia round out the branding on the outsole. Let me get this straight right off the bat. These shoes are crazy. They're insane. I mean, they're downright nuts in my opinion. Any other intellectual property, a lesser series, movie, TV show, what have you, would have a tough time convincing Nike to release a collab like this. This particular colorway is not as outlandish as the Patrick Stars or SpongeBob or even the Mr. Krabs colorways, but they're also not as muted and subtle as the Sandy Cheeks one, and I think this strikes a perfect balance for me. Usually I'd grab the Patrick Stars, but I do have a lot of dominantly pink sneakers, so this was the perfect fit. And I feel like you can wear a lot more different types of clothes with this particular set of colors. Now my feeling is, when you have a piece like this one that's meant to represent a pop culture icon, something that we're all very, very familiar with, it's really easy to get the broad strokes done correctly. The overall shape, the color, you have the Squidward face in the insole. That's a very obvious feature of a shoe like this. But where a shoe like this gets the opportunity to really shine are the details. The details on top of those broad strokes, something that tells you that the designers have a deeper understanding of what it is they're designing a piece of clothing or a piece of art around. Case in point, this Nike on the back could have been your regular Nike logo, but as a fan of the show, you know exactly where that comes from. The little interstitials, the text in the little interludes from the TV show that marks the time shift from one scene to another. What's cool about it is they take that same motif and apply it to the Kyrie Irving logo and make it work somehow. They take a detail of the character and put it on the inside of the tongue, the clarinet that Squidward plays. So you understand that the designers had a slightly more involved understanding, a slightly more involved research process into the character than simply looking at the character, saying these are the colors, this is his face, and you're done with that. And that tends to be the approach of some other shoes, some other clothes, and I'm glad they went a slightly more complex route with this. If you take a look at the swoosh, they could have done just a regular shiny swoosh, but they took the time to, I don't know if this shows up in the video, to actually put in some water droplets there to kind of represent how slimy and slippery Squidward would be as a squid. And again, I don't know if this shows up in the video, but instead they could have easily gone the route of circles, regular plain dots, but they actually apply some irregularities to the water droplets to actually make them look like crystallized or solidified water. That's pretty impressive. And they take that same design aesthetic and apply it to the heel cup and to this little cage up here. And that's really nice, I think. Now, speaking of details, there are a lot of different shoes in this collaboration, but one thing I did want to call out that again speaks to the impressiveness of this whole venture is a detail in the Mr. Krabs edition of this sneaker. Actually, not this sneaker, I think it was a Kyrie 2 low, but they could have easily just gone with this color. But on the side of the shoe is a plankton detail to make it seem as if you had stepped on plankton, which is really cool because it represents this common theme in the show of him trying to steal the Krabby Patty recipe and always finding himself in trouble or hurt because of his misadventures trying to grab that recipe. So again, just another call out to how much was put into the efforts towards being able to accurately represent the cartoon and the characters that are featured in it. If there was one thing that I feel could be improved, it's that this Nickelodeon logo, I think, could have just been placed in a more subtle spot. I understand they probably had to do this in order to get this off the ground, but maybe on the heel, on the medial side of the foot, again on the heel, maybe just someplace a little bit more subtle. Now, I know that they are responsible for the show. Without them, we wouldn't have this thing in hand right now. But in my opinion, this could have been more subtle, but no big deal. Mostly a nitpick. The shoe still works amazingly well, in my opinion, despite that. The shoe sizing on Kyrie 5s is weird. A lot has been said of the fact that they do fit really narrow and to go half a size up. I believe that with the Egyptian Kyrie 5 collab that came out a few months back, and I'm a true to size 9, 9.5 was too tight. It was a pain. It's been a pain to put them on. I can't return them anymore. I like them too much. I can't sell them. But they hurt so much to put on. I went a full size up on these, and they are perfect in my opinion. There's hardly any toe room left up here for me as a true to size 9. The width is perfect if you go full size up. I think that's the way to go if you have slightly wide feet. But normally, I think for regular size foot, regular width, you could probably squeeze yourself into a 9.5. So at the end of the day, for the price on these shoes, if you're a fan of SpongeBob, you're a fan of Nickelodeon, a fan of the Kyrie 5 silhouette, or a fan of these colors even, this is an objectively creative and very striking colorway in a good way. I'd say that these are worth it. These are significantly cheaper than your average Jordan or LeBron, significantly less hype, but what you get for your money and the comfort that you get if you get your right size, I think, in my opinion, is worth every penny. And not just this colorway, not just this collaboration for the Kyrie 5. The designers, the minds behind the Kyrie 5 have been relentless and have been fearless in exploring so many different collaborations that it's really hard to settle on just one. And if anything, I'd also advise you, if you like these, to look into the other collaborations that they've done, and I'm sure you'll find something else you like. And that's it for episode 5 of Sneakers and Spirits. I hope you had a great time. Until the next one, keep sipping and keep stepping. See you right back here real soon.